Okay, so the next topic I'd like to cover is what I call, I'm stealing this from another teacher of mine, the spit buzz. And it's worth noting that there are a couple of different ideas that people use the same name for the spit buzz. So if you are inclined to search on YouTube, you might find a range of things that are kind of the same but kind of different. So please don't take this as being like a universally accepted name. I'm just trying to show you a specific thing. Reading about the others, watching videos about the others might not hurt, but please don't assume that this is meant to apply universally. So, when we play the trumpet, we need to find a particularly tricky balance, which is that we need to have the center of our lips stay loose, because they have to be able to vibrate freely. The less loose they are, the harder it is to make a sound. If your lips are clamped, it's really difficult to get them to vibrate. And it's really tiring. But if your whole lips are totally loose, I mean, that's easy enough to do, but you get this, which isn't very much like trumpet playing. And that won't work with a mouthpiece because you just get air going out. And that's not a bad start, but it's not going to give you a sound. So, this exercise that I'm going to show you is a way to try to practice the feeling of being firm on the sides to hold the lips in place so that they can vibrate the way they need to in the center, but hopefully not clamping down too much in the center. And I'll be honest, I have an element of hesitation in sharing this because people often get kind of the wrong idea about what to do with lip buzzing. I've been confused about that at points in the past as well. So there's an important disclaimer that I want to make here, which is that what we actually do when we buzz our lips is much, much more difficult than what we do when we're actually playing the trumpet. So if I just play a comfortable note on the trumpet, and I pull the trumpet off my lips, I didn't change anything. That was just air. That's what I was doing into the trumpet. If I try to buzz that exact same way into the trumpet, I get a really tight and kind of dead sound. It's also a lot more work than it needs to be. So I'm not trying to say play the trumpet exactly the way you buzz your lips. This is kind of like if you imagine a baseball player before they are about to go up to bat. They often do like practice swings where they have like 3 bats, just doing like practice swings, getting used to a feeling of the bat being more resistant or maybe like a weight attached to it. And then when they go out to actually try to hit the ball the pitcher's throwing, they're back to the one normal bat, which suddenly feels all light and easy and everything is awesome. There's kind of the same relationship here. We are not trying to play the trumpet the way we lip buzz. We're not trying to play the trumpet the way we mouthpiece buzz. We're trying to play the trumpet its own way. But sometimes for particular purposes, it can be helpful to find a feeling or to reinforce a particular sensation by doing a more extreme version of this so that you can become aware of it and be able to control it. And that's what we're doing. So, okay, disclaimer finished. Please treat this technique with caution. It can be useful. If I've asked you to watch this video, it's probably because I think it's going to help you. But, as with any of these things, if you feel like you're moving in the wrong direction or you feel like you're getting like a pain in your throat or your lips or anything like that, stop. These are easy to get kind of the wrong idea. So please exercise some caution. Okay, so enough disclaimers. Here's how this spit buzz works. We can want to kind of try to imagine as though like we're spitting, people talk about like watermelon seeds or rice or things like that. Something like that. The actual amount of air involved in that is more violent than what we need for playing the trumpet, but the way that we set up our lips has some things in common, because you can't spit something without making a mess, without having the sides relatively firm. You just go, unless the sides are held in the appropriate place. But if you clamp the whole lip, surface of the lips closed, well, no air goes out. So this is a way to practice kind of a version of the sensation or something close to the sensation that we're looking for. So to do this, I'd like you to try the following steps. The first is start with your teeth apart, kind of like roughly enough space to put your pinky finger in between. So something like this. I know, it's a little silly, but this is just a way of trying to get an appropriate amount of space between your teeth for being able to play easily. The amount of space is going to be a little different for everybody. I'm not trying to say this is the last word, but this is a relatively safe medium starting point. You can learn to adjust once you get the hang of this. So, teeth apart, more or less that distance, maybe a little more experiment and use your instincts here. And the tip of your tongue touching the cutting edge of your upper teeth. That's right there. So something like this. Okay, so from that position, with my teeth apart, actually maybe even a shade more than that, I'm going to start to blow. So my tongue will move down, allowing the air out. And if this is my tongue and this is my lower lip, once I've moved my tongue down out of the way, I'm going to move it forward to hold against the lower lip. So the lower lip kind of has like something to brace against to help it hold its shape. Because the trumpet does some of the work for us normally, and the mouthpiece does some of the work for us. And we take it away, this whole thing gets more difficult. So the tongue is kind of there to give a little extra stability, make this a little bit easier. And it's worth noting the pitch that we're looking for is actually not, I think, super important, at least for this purpose for the moment. We're just trying to make sure we're getting a vibration happening. So, something like this. Yeah, I know. It's not a beautiful sound, and that's not really the idea. But what we're trying to do is to get so you're holding the shape and letting the center of the lips vibrate. And I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to try to think about it consciously in those terms because it's kind of too much to micromanage in a single moment. If you think about like when you sign your name, you probably don't know what you do with your wrist. I don't know. I mean, I guess I move my wrist every time I make a different character, but I'm not consciously directing. I will now bend 7 degrees that way, 10 degrees this way. No, I sign my name. And basically, in order to be able to do this in real time, we need something similar on the trumpet. So, I'm trying to explain what we're looking for, but please don't think consciously about like clamping down there and there. Well, trying to be open here because you're kind of going to tie yourself in knots. We play the trumpet by feel, not by a cerebral model. That's not to say there's no room for thinking, but we're not basically going to solve this problem by thinking. We actually need to be able to play based on sensation. So, try to let sensation take hold. That's what we're looking for here, and that's the purpose of this exercise, is to get familiar with this sensation. So a couple more times. Once you're comfortable with that, the next step would be to try bring the mouthpiece onto your lips gently while you're doing this, and try to keep the buzz going. So something like this. I think that kind of covers everything, but again, please exercise caution doing this. This is not something that we necessarily want to do forever. This shouldn't be your model for here's how the trumpet always works. This is kind of a little bit like taking medicine. If there's a particular thing that you need medicine for, then it's very healthy to take it. And if you don't need that medicine, or you don't need it anymore, or you take too much, all of those are bad. So, carefully used with purpose in mind, this can be a really useful exercise for the right person. For everybody else, it's probably not that useful or even damaging. So please keep your thinking caps on and use an element of judgment here. Thanks.